Well, hello everyone, and welcome to This Week at Little Hills. You might wonder why I am crouching next to this nice chair rather than sitting on it. And I'll get to that in a moment, but let's first think about this week's New City Catechism question, which we'll be talking to you about further in Sunday School Express, 15 minutes after our 5:30 p.m. in-person and online worship service this Sunday. The Catechism question is question 32. It says, what do justification and sanctification mean? Here's the nice summary of those two things. Justification means our declared righteousness before God, made possible by Christ's death and resurrection for us. Sanctification means our gradual growing righteousness made possible by the Spirit's work in us. Now, there's a lot going on there, but the key thing, I think, the most important part of that answer to that catechism question is that it's made possible by the Spirit's work in us. And yeah, a lot of times we say, it doesn't seem like God's doing anything in me right now. I feel like I'm just floundering, I'm just here. What does this even really mean? Well, one of my very favorite passages, and I know probably for many of you, one of your favorite passages as well, is Romans 8, though 29 and following, but particularly verse 30 is amazing. If you look at verse 30, it says, and those whom he predestined he also called, and those whom he called he also justified, and those whom he justified he also glorified. We have the whole process here from being predestined and called all the way through justification, and implied there, it's not referenced directly, we can find it elsewhere in Romans, but sanctified all the way to being glorified, where we're made perfect. When we think about that, God brings it all about. Now, how does he do that? Well, he does it by his Spirit. And the Spirit, we're told, for example, in John chapter 3, blows like the wind. We can't necessarily see where it's going. We can't control it. And yet there's power there. And that's why I'm not sitting on this rocking chair. Because if I were sitting on it, you'd see it rocking right now, and you'd think that I were moving it. If you were sitting on it and it's rocking back and forth, assuming that you are moving it, you would say, well, I'm doing it. When we look at this rocking chair, I can't see anything moving it. It's just moving. But that rocking chair, well, it's not haunted. It's being moved by the wind. The wind is blowing quite heavily right now. A lot of times we can't see how God's working either. And we don't know how he's bringing it together. We're told in Scripture that those who believe have been called by him, predestined by him, that he's the one that even enables us to believe. And that then he's the one that gives us that justification and starts to purify us, starts to sanctify us so that we look more like him. But we can't necessarily see in the moment how he's doing it. What we do see are the effects of it. We see the rocking. Rocking chairs are supposed to rock. We're supposed to love our neighbors and love God. And as those things come out in us, that's the work of the Spirit. We may not in the moment see the Spirit working. Yet when we see some of those effects, just as I see that chair, I can't see the wind blowing on it, but I know it's there. So too we know that God is working. And sometimes it's really loud and clear, like that goose that just honked, and we see it very clearly. But even when it's as subtle as this chair rocking, God is still working. Well, I hope that you'll join us for the full discussion on this question at Sunday School Express right after service. And of course, join us for our service as well. I can't wait to see you there as we continue to think about how God transforms the brokenness and despair that we face into hope in our series, Ain't No Grave. I can't wait to see you there for that. Hope you have a wonderful and blessed day, and a wonderful week.